Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I am Adrian Fort, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will appear in two separate playlists here on the channel. Number one being the poetry discussion playlist, obviously, a playlist which is cruising ever closer to 300 videos strong, and the second will be the Charles Bukowski playlist, which is nearing 100 videos on its own. So if you are into poetry and or Charles Bukowski, and if you're not, why would you be here? Consider checking out those playlists. What our poem for today is For Jane. It's a sad one. It is possibly especially sad if you take into account the character that is Charles Bukowski, or Chinaski, depending on however it is that you want to think of this, if you want to think of the poet or the speaker here. The poem in question reads as such: 225 days under grass, and you know more than I. They have long taken your blood. You're a dry stick in a basket. Is this how it works? In this room, the hours of love still make shadows. When you left, you took almost everything. I kneel in the nights before tigers that will not let me be. What you were will not happen again. The tigers have found me, and I do not care. Do you have the one that got away? Or are you too dumb to realize it yet? I think that there is something. I think that the, I think that there is something necessary, more necessary to the one that got away, possibly, than to true love. I think that it is more necessary towards learning the lessons that life have to offer us to have the one that got away than to have the one true love. I do believe that everyone has the one that got away. I don't know that I don't know that I believe everyone has a true love. I don't think there is a the one for everyone. I don't believe that. People are too complicated. There's too much going on in the human experience to believe that there are any two beings, any two happenstance that align so perfectly. However, the one that got away, the reason I believe that everyone, even someone who has never had anyone, the reason I believe that there is a the one that got away for everyone is it is mystical. The one that got away is never in your mind the one that was. I have been in true selfless love once, and it was the most selfish I've ever acted. At the time, I was scared of what that was. In the time since, I have been able to revise what that love was. That one that got away. I have been loved selflessly. I have loved. Not all love is created equal. Not all love is the same. Not all lovers see things on equal plane. Most of the time, that's okay. We have to take those lessons with us. But for the one that got away, that's something else entirely. The one that got away, the one that will be revised in your mind. The one that got away, the one that will forever be too perfect. The one that got away, the one that will forever be your fault. Your fault. That's the one that got away. And whose fault was it? The guy that has two thumbs. But here we have our speaker, Chinaski, our writer, Bukowski. Biographically, here they are the same. Calling out to the one that got away. You're gone. 225 days. Boom. Done. Gone. No more. And when you left, you took almost everything. And now I do not care. Because that's ultimately where the one that got away leaves us, isn't it? The one that got away is the one that tames us, the one that breaks us, the one that domesticates us, or turns us feral. Isn't it? The one that got away leaves you one of two ways. Either you concede and you say, okay, I get it. I give up. I have to change the way I am. I have to change the definitions that I have for love because I missed it when I had it. Or, as our speaker is saying here, our speaker here is conceding a little bit, but ultimately comes to the conclusion, yeah, you know what? This isn't going to happen again. What that was, that mysterious thing that was love, that was true love, that was, perhaps, selfless love, where we acted selfishly. It's not happening again. So why put in the effort? Why keep going? Why try again? I had it. Messed it up. Why keep playing the game? That is where our speaker finds himself in light of Jane. Is that the right way to be? If we can't have the one, do we want anyone? Our speaker here seems to be saying, what's the point? But our speaker here takes it one step further. There are tigers that will not let me be. There are tigers that say to me, these things you're doing, they're wrong. We're going to eat you. And I tell them, come on. What are you waiting for? What are we doing here? Aren't you hungry? Come on then. Are we to believe our speaker here? Now, so talking just sort of meta level, taking a step out of this poem and up to the level of looking at Bukowski poetry, do we believe him? Always gallivanting about. A woman here, a couple there, another down the road. Do we believe him? I do. To make love is not to have love. Right? And there are 3 levels to making love. If you don't know them, I'm sure you can find them somewhere on the internet. For Jane. For the one that got away. The one that got away is very real, no matter how real that one really is. That idea, I think. So even for, I said earlier, even for someone who has no one, and I mean that. I've known plenty of people who have been in that position, the position to have no one, have had no one, There's always still someone they talk about. I wonder if that is something we need. If on some psychological level there is something there that we have to have. Some reason that the one that got away is so pervasive in culture. That we know the phrase. We have that feeling. We have the one that got away for us. I believe it is. I believe it is universal. And I believe that it is something that makes us better. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you enjoy what I do here or you appreciate these poetry discussions, consider hitting the subscribe button. Consider hitting the like button because it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, hit that subscribe button in order to stick around for more because I hope to have you back for the next one.